Hello, grade 11, the last activity, preparation for a test. Here it is. It's question 4, where we're going to go through a text file, one line at a time, and each line of the text file has contents that looks like similar to this. There are 3 semicolons, the name of the person, the item ordered, how much, and the unit cost there at the end. That's 2 rand an item. So for that particular one, and this is a text file. This is what it looks like. I just abbreviated it a bit because I couldn't fit that all across in this Excel, so you can see this is just an example. Now the program says we have to choose an item from a combo box. The instruction is very clear here. It says test if the text file name sales.txt exists, and exit if it doesn't exist. So that's standard code. In this button, click event. So you say if not file exists sales.txt, then begin, simple, show message and exit. Okay, then we're going to do the next bit. It says extract the item from the combo box. That's easy enough too. Make a variable called sitem. Sitem equals, combo box name is cmb item text property. Next thing, read a line from the text file. Assign file. We've got to read assign file statement. So you need a text file variable, t file, whatever you want to call it, and we need sline string. To read a line, you do assign file statement and reset. And then reset. Then we go while not end of file, t file, do begin and end, read ln t file into sline. Right, now the next thing is to test if the item chosen is part of exists from in the line from the text file. So we're going to say if pos of sitem in sline. Where's the line from the text file? That sline there was read from the text file. So we're going to check if the pos of sitem is from the combo box. If this pos function is not equal to 0, then we know that sitem does exist in sline. Okay, so let's see what we do. If there is a match, then you must extract the customer's name and item name. So let's get 2 variables, sname and sitem. So we're going to make some strings here, variables sname, sitem. We're going to extract sname from sline. So we're going to copy from sline, starting at 1. Let's have a look here. Remember I said the string, the line from the text file will look like something like this. So we're going to go from 1 to the position of the semicolon minus 1, and that will give us the name of the person. Okay, so let's go and do it. Copy from 1 to the position of the semicolon pos now I'm in capitals, pos of sline minus 1. So that's what sname will be. We're copying from 1 to the position of the space of the semicolon sline minus 1. Okay, so we got sname. What are we going to do now? Well, we're going to delete it. Don't forget that this is S line, okay? This is S line. We want to delete all of this so that we can then start. S line will now be this. We'll now be left starting with the name of the item. So we delete from S line all the way up to and including the position of the semicolon. We delete, and then we can say S item will be equal to copy. Now this is all still strings. We use the same concept where we're going to copy from the first character to the position of the semicolon -1, and then we will delete. And then we're going to be left with this. But let's get S item, copy from 1 and up to, and the number of characters will be the position of the semicolon of S line -1, and then we can delete. Why will we delete? Copy. Why are we deleting? Well, maybe we want to get the next thing. So let's go and see what's going to happen. We will delete up to and including the semicolon, and then we'll be left with this. Right, let's have a look. Yeah, from S line starting at 1. Oops, I haven't got copy here. Oh yeah, no, we don't, it's not copying, we're deleting. So copying from S line starting at 1, and the position of the semicolon S line will be the number of characters that we are copying, so that will delete that. Right, so what next? So we've got the name and the item name, then we must get the quantity sold and the unit price from the text file. So the quantity sold will be the next thing, which will be there, that number. So we've got to go declare 2 variables and the unit price, and those are integers. Take note, they are integers only. So we're going to declare 2 integers, I unit and I quantity. Okay, I quantity is first. So I quantity will be the same thing, but we're going to have to say string to int before we copy. So we're going to use the same thing, but we're going to have string to int and copy, and don't forget to add your brackets there. Can you see the brackets? Very, very important here, because we're taking copy and we're converting it to an integer. And yes, we will use delete again. But what's going to happen after we delete the quantity? What's going to happen? Let's see. We're going to delete the quantity. What do we have left? We have 1. We don't have any more semicolons. We just have S line. It's now just going to be, in this case, will be the number 2. So S line is now the quantity. Sorry, the I unit will be equal to string to int S line. No more semicolons to delete. Right, so we've got all the things. We've chopped off all the pieces from the line. Okay, we chopped them all off. We left off with, and we didn't delete anything from the text file. We're just using S line. You can't delete from the text file anyway like that. So you read it into a string first, and then you go and manipulate the string. So what we're going to do after that is go and read. Okay, we've got the quantity sold and unit price. Calculate the cost to the customer for the item sold. The unit price multiplied by quantity sold. Right, the cost is actually going to be an integer 2, because it's 2 integers multiplied by each other, so we can safely go and store that into an integer. I cost will be equal to I unit times by I quantity. Right. Calculate the total of all costs. So I'm going to say I total. We're going to use it later. So this is going to be, we're going to have to make this a global variable if we're going to use it later. You know, where are we going to use it later? We're actually going to use it later over here. So we're not going to do it now, we're going to make it a global variable. So let's go and make it a global variable up here. Total. No, we are going to use, no, we're not going to use it in another button click. It's all one button click event. My bad. It's a local variable, our total. But we know that we have to set our total equal to 0 before we go and do any of this lot. So somewhere before the loop, the while loop, we set our total to 0, okay? Because in this while loop, this is where we're doing all the calculations. So, and then inside here, once we've got, each time we get our cost, we say our total equals to previous our total plus I cost, which we will use later. Now let's go and see what else we have to do. Total of all costs, done it. Display the name of the custom and the cost in the rich edit. So even while we're doing everything here, we're displaying in the rich edit as well. So where's the rich edit? There it is, already display dot lines dot add. We don't have to set up the rich edit. Can you see it's done already over there for you? So s name plus #9 plus float to string f, because it's money, or cost, I cost, sorry. Oh, it's not a real number. Well, we can go make it a real number. Hey, let's go make it a real number. Yeah, why not? Okay, let's not use I cost as an integer. Let's use I cost as a real number. So we can do that nice fancy float to string f formatting. Which you learnt in grade 10. Yeah, I know, that seems such a long time away, doesn't it? Actually, it seems like yesterday. Right, let's make sure we have the right number of brackets. That's always an issue, and you will find that out if you run it and there's an error. But don't forget your begins and ends. Make sure that you have your begins and ends lined up, because that can be confusing. Next thing, display the name. So we've done that. Finished that one. Okay, let's go to the next one. So we finished that while loop. It's all being displayed. Now we're going to write code to test if a text file exists, which is named with the item name extracted from the combo box. So the item from the combo box is called sitem. Now I had a problem here, people. Can you see that? I've made two variables. I mean, I've declared a variable sitem. I'm using it twice. You can't do that. Sitem name. I better call it sitem name, yeah. Because this is a completely different sitem name. You can't use two variables of the same name. Can you see that? I made that mistake. Bad. Right, now we're going to go over here. After the while loop, we're going to test if the item from the combo box, which is sitem, not the same as this one over here, you know, sitem there, we're going to test if it exists. If not, file exists sitem plus .txt. See what we did there? Then begin and end. And we're probably going to do something else, because it's telling us over here if it does exist. If it doesn't exist, it was write code to create a text file using the item name from the combo box as a new text file name. So we're going to create it, and if it does not exist, then we're just going to put it in append mode. So if it does not exist, we put it in append mode. Our sound file. We're going to use a text file variable. We can use another one. My file. I'm just going to say my file. Sound file, my file. If you're going to use T file, you better make sure you close file over here. But if you use a different text file variable name like I'm doing here, you don't have to close file after reading it. So I'm using a different text file variable name here, and I'm going to use sitem.txt. We're assigning that text file to my file, and then we put it in. If it does not exist, we will create it with a rewrite statement procedure. Rewrite my file. And if it doesn't exist, oh wait, no, yeah, if it does not exist, if it does exist, we will put it in append mode. We'll say append my file. Now they're telling us to, what must we do? Let's write code to add a line to this text file using the following format: today's date and the total costs for the item. So today's date and the hash line, and then the total cost. Now that total cost was this R total over I total, sorry. We better make it R total, and you know why? Because you can't add, because we used R cost as our real number variable. We're totaling a real number, so we must have R total as a real number. So I made a mistake there, so let's go and fix that. R total, and delete the variable that you're not going to use, that I total, delete it. Okay, so R total, I'll just fix that up there, that's going to be fine now. Now we're going to write a line to my file, and it's going to be, what must we put in? Today's date, date to string date, and join that to a hash, and join that to float to string f, R total, ff currency, 8, 2. See what we did there? Writing a line, you've got to quote the text file variable, and then this is a one big long string that we join together. And then it's very important to close file. Whenever you're writing to a text file, whether it's in a loop or whether it's just one line like it is here, you have to use close file. If you're going to write to a text file in a loop, you use close file after the loop. Otherwise, if you're writing a line and you finish writing lines, you could write another line here too if you want. Just an empty string, and then you'll have an empty line. So let's go and, or we can put in a, a couple of dashes or something. That's not part of the instruction. Just showing you, demonstrating how you use close file. So let's run the program, see if I've got any errors. Oops. Right, R total. I used R total and I got rid of R total. Now I'm using R total. Right, delete. Missing semicolon operator. Delete from S line. Starting at 1. The number of characters. Oh, no, that was right. It's just the semicolon is missing the line before it. See that? Okay, so we're going to choose a pencil, and we're going to click and allow sales, and let's go see in the folder. There's pencil.txt, and there you have it. Now if we choose another pencil and we click and allow sales, then what's going to happen? We'll have a look, and it will have then got, see, another line was added. This was in append mode. Don't ask me why, but that is how that instruction was given to us. And now you try this by yourself without looking at the video.